Welcome to podcasts recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
Good morning. Check this out. We didn't plan this. Paulette has red and white, and I have blue. I mean, you know. So, anyway, we're going to sing together. So in your programs, there's a green song sheet. If you want to get that, you can grab it and stand up. We're going to sing.
In this world, I am alive. it shine.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy
In this world.
in this world.
In this world.
In this world.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy
In this world.
in this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This is the place.
This is the place.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it
I
shine.
live in love every day.
I 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 live in love every day.
Spreading peace along the way.
Spreading peace along the way.
Right time,
Right time,
right place.
right place.
Live in love
Live in love
every day.
every day.
We are the light.
We are the light.
We are the light
We are the light
in this world.
in this world.
In this world.
In this world.
We are the light.
We are the light.
We are the light
We are the light
in this world.
in this world.
In this world.
This world.
This is the place.
This is the place.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Let it shine.
Let it
Oh,
shine.
let it shine.
Let it shine.
We are the joy.
We are the joy.
We are the love
We are the love
in this world.
in this world.
In this world.
In this world.
We are the peace.
We are the peace.
We are the beauty
We are the beauty
in this world.
in this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This is the place.
This is the place.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Oh, let it shine.
Let it shine.
This is the place.
This is the place.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Good morning and welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. We are a science of mind community that teaches spiritual principles to transform your life and make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. My name is Nancy Ashley, licensed practitioner here, and it is my honor to welcome you. So for our virtual community also, I welcome you all. If you are new here and this is your first time in person, please be aware that there is a welcome packet, and you hopefully got one on the way in. And in it, there's a lot of information about who we are, how we might serve you, what we stand for. So welcome. And if you are here virtually for the first time, you can log into our website, cslportland.org, and get the same information on the About Us page. And while you're there, there's a lot of information there again about who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. So when you're everyone on the website, you can sign up. Down at the bottom on the right-hand side, there's a place to put in your name and email address, and there are 3 things that you can sign up for there. First, you can sign up for our weekly email that comes out that tells you everything that's going on during the week, the meditation, the service, everything, and that comes out if you are signed up online. Next is our essential Ernest Holmes affirmation, which is from Reverend Larry, and this includes a beautiful picture with a quote from Ernest Holmes and some narrative from Reverend Larry to get your day started on a nice spiritual path. The third thing that you can sign up for is your birthday, just the date and month and date. You don't have to put your year in, and you will get an e-birthday card and gift from that. So again, the cslportland.org for our website. So we have a lot of announcements for things that are going on. If you want to look in your program, some of this is right here. We have our weekly meditation on Wednesday night, also by Zoom. This week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m., this is being presented by licensed practitioner Sean Larkin, and it says, guided meditation with handpan music. And you may not even know what handpan music is, but he is an expert on it and even has a CD out now. It's a very nice musical introduction to meditation. We also have lunch with Reverend Larry that's been going on every week for several years now, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, with lunch is optional, and this is, again, a time for socializing and a bit of spiritual enrichment, connecting with Reverend Larry during this time. We also have our Social Justice Book Club, and as somebody said, this is, I am endorsing it because I facilitate it. So we have the Social Justice Book Club that was yesterday. We do it the first Saturday of every month. And we are continuing this month with the book that is called The Sum of Us, How We Need to Work Together for the Highest and Best Good. We also have the Transcendence Women's 12-Step Meeting on Saturday, which I also facilitate. So I would love to have you there. It's for women in any 12-step program. So we have quite a variety there. So Nadine, would you like to come up and talk about another announcement here? And I'll just mention while she's coming up, we do have the picnic coming up on July 31st. Were you going to talk about that?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Hi. I got my little whisk. I don't even want to go there. Okay. So this is the last week to sign up for Divine Dining for this month. We have two. Reverend Larry's Divine Dining is All My Exes Live in Texas. And he and Daniel are going to have Tex-Mex food. It'll be outdoor dining, great conversation, and a chance to learn some line dancing with Daniel, who's a great dance teacher. So there'll be a unique blend of Mexican spices and American tastes, and he promises not to burn your mouth, so it's okay. It's limited to 10 guests. There's still some spaces available. So please go on our website, pslportland.org, or cslportland.org, and sign up there. And that's this Friday, July 8th. The next one is the barbecue at the Peace Ranch, Jason Hutchinson and Kristen Amudson's in Vancouver, Washington, and that's scheduled for Saturday, July 23rd. So come on out to the Peace Ranch for some of Jason's famous barbecue, and he's also a beekeeper, which is really very, very cool. So if you're interested in that, I'm sure he'd love to show you. And then we're going to have two other Divine Dining opportunities in September, so you can read about that on the website. And the other thing I just want to put a little plug in, because we have one more week to sign up for the Spiritual Mind Treatment Boot Camp, which will be next Saturday, July 9th, from 1 to 3. There's still some spaces available, and I will be facilitating it, so I welcome all of you to come and join us. Thank you. Oh, you want me to do something else?
Well, the picnic?
Oh, the picnic, July 31st. Oh my God, right after July 31st is a Sunday, so it's in your handout, and it's a bring a friend picnic. So you have a little postcard in your handouts, and that's to hand to a friend, because we welcome everyone. So if you would like to join us, we're going to walk down to Peninsula Park, and we have a whole thing set up there. It's going to be awesome. So please bring a friend, join us, and just join us for fun. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Thank you.
Some of us are not going to walk down there. Some of us are going to drive over there. You'll notice there's also a quick handout about being in sacred service. So we welcome all of you to do stuff like myself and what Nadine and Al and Sandy are doing today. So you really feel part of the congregation when you're serving. So we have music. Our music today is by our very own Paulette Holley. And will you be doing your own music? One song. And I just wanted to acknowledge that we give Ken Brewer at least one sick day every 15 years. So I'm glad you're back this week. And that might be either the first or second in first one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. And Jim Solberg and Don Schultz, thank you for your Friends band here. Our flowers, as always, are from our own Kat Jacobs. Thank you, Kat. And let's see. Okay, so next, the important part is that Reverend Christine Brown is joining us today. Reverend Larry is on vacation. So thank you for joining us. And I'll just do a little pitch here. Reverend Christine has a book here, and there are copies of it in the bookstore. Soul Musings, Finding the Sacred in the Ordinary. So I'm sure that this is something that we would all enjoy. Christine is going to be talking with the topic of freedom today, which is appropriate for this weekend. And so I think that's it. So sit back and relax, because we know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came to receive.
God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
In this present moment, in this place, we are surrounded by the oneness, the wholeness, the essence, the power source that I call God or Spirit. It doesn't matter what we call it, but there is only one. It is everywhere present, and it is in, through, and as everything. It is in every person, place, thing, trees, animals, There is only one energy, one source of all that is, and it includes the beautiful qualities of love, wisdom, joy, unity, freedom. And knowing that each one of these qualities is fully present in everything, I know that I am a unique expression of all of these qualities. They all reside within me as me. And I know that this is true for everyone hearing my prayer today, that we are all beings of God. And all of these qualities are fully present in us, awaiting our recognition. And so I claim, especially for today, the quality of freedom, knowing that in God, in spirit, there is always freedom, and it comes from within. And as we know that we always are co-creating these amazing lives for ourselves, I claim and affirm that I am claiming freedom from within, that I have the choice, and each one of us has the choice to be free within ourselves, free to communicate, free to be, to live, to love, to be. And knowing that this freedom is inherent in each one of us, I know that we are able to be the highest and best expression of freedom, of love, of unity for every place. And knowing this, I just give thanks for knowing that freedom exists within us. Freedom is our birthright. And so I just release my word into the action and activity of the law, knowing that it is already done. I release it, I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. And as we go into the silence for a few minutes, I just invite you to think about what freedom means for you, in you, as you, this weekend.
Welcome back. The song I'm singing today is by Karen Drucker. It's called I Choose. Please join me when you, if you want.
What do I want my day to be? I choose. What do I want to feel today? I choose. What I want to be today? I choose. I choose. I choose. I choose. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, grateful today. I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, grateful today.
Today,
I choose
I choose
to be happy, so happy today.
today,
I choose
I choose
to be happy, happy today.
today,
I choose
I choose
to be peaceful, so peaceful today.
today,
I choose day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. Today,
Today
I choose to
choose
be loving, so loving. Today,
today
I choose
I choose
to be loving, loving. Today,
today
I choose
choose
to be joyful, so joyful. Today,
today
I choose
choose
to be joyful, joyful. Whatever I do is how my day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. It's all up to me. Today,
today
I choose
choose
to be thankful, so thankful. Today,
today
I choose
choose
to be thankful, thankful. Today,
today
I choose
choose
to be grateful, so grateful. Today,
today
I choose to
choose
be grateful, grateful. To be grateful, grateful. To be grateful, grateful. I am grateful, grateful.
Thank you so much, Paulette. That was perfect. You said it would tie in, and it tied in perfectly. Thank you, Nancy, for the beautiful meditation, and thank you all for being here. And for those of you joining us online, thank you for joining us today on this holiday weekend. I'm Rev Christine Green. I'm so grateful to be with you today, so Reverend Larry can enjoy a well-deserved day off. And so my topic today is freedom to be. And that song is perfect because we choose every day. And was recalling the first time I felt I wasn't free. And isn't that when we really understand something, when we remember when it didn't happen for us? So I remember the first time I did not feel free. I was working in an office, and it was 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and we had all finished our work. It was a small office, and we all finished our work, and there was nothing left to do. And it was like, well, why can't we leave? It's like, well, we can't leave because work ends at 5 o'clock. And it's like, well, you can keep the other hour. I'll just, dock me pay. I just would like to leave. The sun is out and it's time to leave. And I couldn't leave. And something clicked in me that freedom was the most important thing. Freedom was the most important thing. And we are on an evolutionary journey, and we're on an evolutionary journey in the working world. And the first time we get to work is when we have a job. And the principle of job is labor. And the motive is survival, right? We need the job because we're in survival. So as we evolve through our evolutionary journey of work, then we have a career. Well, the principle of career is learning, because now we're about learning. We're about learning something new, how to express in the world. And the motive is success, because in a career, I want to achieve success. But when we move to a place of calling, when we're in our calling, the principle is love, and the motive is service. And really, that any job, any work, any presence that we are in the world can be of service. because we're at that place of love, right? We're doing it because we love. And when I moved into my calling, I would work 7 o'clock on a Friday night, right? I would work 5 o'clock on a Tuesday morning or 3 o'clock on a Saturday. It didn't matter because I was in my calling. I was in that place of service and in that place of love. Ernest Holmes says, "There is something within you which is completely aware of its oneness with power, of its unity with life. Lose all thoughts of discord and fear and permit the true pattern to come to the surface." So there's that presence within us that we know is our power, is our unity, is our life. And that we can let go of any thoughts of discord or fear and let that pattern come to the surface. So when we think about freedom, we think about where we have freedom and where we don't have freedom. And sometimes we look at, well, if I had a red car instead of a black one, then I'd be happy. Anybody else like that? Anybody else want a red car? Or if my neighbors were quieter, then it would be more peaceful. If my mother-in-law were different, then it would be different. If there wasn't so much divisiveness in the world, then I could feel peace. But my not feeling peace, my not being in my freedom is not changing that for anyone else, right? So the important thing is for each of us to find that within ourselves. What is it that we need to do to be within our own freedom? Because each of us is an effect in the world. Now there's 3 things that we talk about, and we use these words interchangeably, and I want to talk about them. One is energy, one is vibration, and one is frequency. So energy is that divine energy, that infinite. Nancy spoke to it so beautifully in your prayer, that oneness, that one power, one presence, one life, that creative source. That's the energy in which we all live. Our vibration is how that energy moves through us, is our vibration in the world. Now, let's stop there because our vibration is dependent on our triune nature of spirit, mind, and body. So in our spirit, mind, and body, they operate individually and collectively. And so the body, for instance, is always moving, right? The body's moving, we have flexibility and we move. The mind is always thinking. Well, the purpose of the mind is to think, ponder, and plan, and have fun along the way. And the spirit is how we make that connection with the divine. So in that triune nature, right there, is how our vibration comes through and how we allow that to come through in the world. And so Paulette talked about, I choose to be grateful. I choose to be happy. So we get to choose each day what our vibration is going to be. And that's how we allow this presence, this energetic force to move through us. So we wake up in the morning and we get to choose, how am I going to see this day? Now we can choose something and within a moment it can change, right? Turn on the news, goes up, goes down. Somebody says something positive, it lifts up. So our vibration is dependent on that triune nature of spirit, mind, and body, and are they operating in cohesiveness? What we emit from our vibration is our frequency. So that's the frequency that we're living at. Have you ever been maybe at a party or a place and someone walks in and you feel like you want to move away? There's an energy there that you're picking up that frequency. There's something going on. Or you could even walk into a building and feel a frequency. You feel either good about it or not so good about it. So we are feeling that. That's our frequency that's being emitted. Freedom is an opportunity for all of us to live in that frequency of love. Because when we live in the frequency of love, that everything is possible, right? That we are not bound by the past. In the book of Love and Creation, Paul Selig writes, when you engage with something in consciousness, you are activating it. So when we are in alignment with that consciousness, we're activating it. And then we move into congruence with it. If it's a low-level frequency, guess what? That's where you're going to hang out. So if it's low level, that's where we're going to be at. If it's a higher level, then we're in that place. So there was a couple that was married for 60 years, and the wife had a request that there was a box in the closet that her husband never touched this box. Well, the wife was not doing well. She was growing ill, and they decided it was time that they bring their affairs into order. And she decided it was time that he knew what was in the box. So he brought the box to her, and she opened it up, and there were 2 crochet dolls, and the rest was full of cash. And there was a slip of paper that said $95,000 in cash. And so she said, it's time that you know what this is. When we got married, my grandmother told me to not be angry with you, to not let myself go to that place of being angry. Instead, every time I'm angry, I should crochet a doll. And the husband said, he thought, oh my gosh, 60 years of marriage and she's only been angry twice? He was so touched. He was just so moved. And he said, honey, that is wonderful. But what about the money? And she said, oh, that's what I sold the rest of the dolls for. So she was not going to let herself be moved by anger. She did something creative, and it turned out to be abundant. So Paul Selig writes, I am in my knowing. Can we say that together? I am in my knowing. When we say I am in my knowing that I am free. If we say I am free, sometimes we don't feel that, right? Or I am peace. In the great I am, we can say that, but we don't always quite go there. But when we say, I am in my knowing, then we are affirming that we're moving to that place of the oneness, of the creative expression in that knowing and in that freedom. There are so many structures around us that have limited us over the years, and that has how we've based our freedom. We've based our freedom on these structures and on these belief systems of what we can and cannot do. So the belief, one of the things with freedom is the greatest issue with freedom is when we have fear, right? When we're afraid, because fear stops freedom immediately. And the purpose of fear is to create more fear. So our work is to get out of that place of fear. How do I move from that place of fear to that place of love? And that's for us to be aware. We're constantly mindful of what I'm thinking, how I am reacting, that we practice this mindfulness to know that I'm not going to be limited by what is going on, but I am going to stand firmly in my freedom. I'm going to stand firmly in love. So it's our work to be in that place of mindfulness, to pay attention to what we're thinking, to what we're feeling, what's going on in the body. And the more we do that, the more mindful we are, the more connected we are to spirit. When healing happens in that place of consciousness, when we can understand the constructs and why they've been there. So a child that's afraid of the dark, when you explain about the dark and the child understands that, they're not afraid anymore, right? So we have to understand those constructs that keep us in that place of limiting. There's a quote I found: the universe responds to your frequency. It does not recognize your personal desires, wants, or needs. It only understands the frequency in which you are vibrating at. If you are vibrating in the frequency of fear, guilt, or shame, you're going to attract those things. If you vibrate in the frequency of love, you're going to attract those things that support that frequency. It's kind of like tuning into a radio station. You have to be tuning to the music you want to listen to, just like you have to be tuned into in what you want to manifest in your life. So, moving to Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle says there are 3 modalities of awakening. He calls it the awakened doing, that we are in the world and that we live an awakened doing. And that there's 3. So acceptance is the first one. And he says, whenever you cannot enjoy doing, you can at least accept that this is what you have to do. Right? Kind of happened to us in the pandemic. We had a pandemic, and there were people that accepted, okay, this is a pandemic, I have to work with it, and people that said, no, you're not going to tell me what to do. So it's like we had this place of the fear, because what was there so profoundly was the fear of not knowing what was going to happen. So that's how we reacted. We reacted in those 2 ways. But acceptance means whatever the situation is, I do it willingly. I do it willingly. And he says, for example, maybe changing a tire in the middle of the night, you won't be so happy about it, but you do it willingly because this is what I have to do in this moment. You can bring acceptance to it. We find peace when we do that. So we can come to that place of peace when we allow ourselves to accept. It's surrender. When we surrender into the moment, this is what I'm called to do at the moment. The second one is enjoyment. And enjoyment is whatever we're doing, if we can do it with a sense of lightness, that we enjoy it, that we enjoy what we're doing. Enjoyment replaces wanting as a motivating power. So that we say, this is what I'm doing, I accept that this is what I'm doing, and I can find the joy in it, in this moment. And when you make it in the present moment and not the past or future, it makes complete difference in how we respond to it. And it brings us to that, we can be in that place of joy. And joy is the dynamic aspect of being. When the creative power of the universe becomes conscious of itself, it results in joy. And when we're in joy, then there's a place of peace. And the last one is enthusiasm. I loved Reverend Larry's story last week. Do you remember last week when he talked about the employee at Disneyland, who got up in the midst of the chaos and told a story, and it was the most beautiful story, and he was so moved by it. I could just feel her energy. It was a wonderful example of that. So what we want, what this awakened doing does, is it allows us to be in alignment, for us to be in that vibration and that frequency of love. And when we're in that frequency of love, all things are possible. So I recently, I've been telling everyone that I was going to buy a house for about 2 years. Didn't do anything about it, but it took me 2 years to talk about it. And recently I started looking, and what I realized after being missing some deals, and I couldn't compete with the franticness at the moment of sellers coming in at the last minute, paying cash and above offer. I couldn't do any of that. And so I said to my realtor, I said, the only way this is going to happen is if someone has their house not on the market. If I can get in before their house is on the market so I don't have to compete with anyone. And I thought, well, in the next year or so that will happen. And 2 weeks later, she called me and said, there's a couple that in the location you wanted, and they don't want to put their house on the market. Do you want to go look at it? I said, okay. So we went and looked at it, and it was perfect. It was just what I wanted. And the whole transaction worked out beautifully. Everything was in alignment. But I was always in that place of surrender, that if it's not this, then it's something better. If it's not this house, I can step away. Well, the next out that I saw for myself was the inspection, right? Because if there's anything, I can say, oh no, this foundation is not working, even though it's on a condo on the second floor. But any excuse that if it wasn't right, I could just step out of it and say, no, I'm not going to go there. So we have the inspection, and there's minor issues, and the inspector writes them all down, and we're leaving the condo and walking to the parking lot, and my realtor was looking up in the sky. And I said, what are you looking at? And I looked up, and there was a hummingbird. And it was hovering. And if you noticed the cover of my book, is a hummingbird. And I chose that because the hummingbird is a symbol of connection with the divine. That a hummingbird shows up when we need it most. And so the hummingbird was there. It was affirmation for me. I was on the right track. Not only was the hummingbird there, it was hovering over us. It didn't zip away. It hovered over us. And I said, well, come to my car. There's something I want to give you. And as we walked to the car, she said, look, it's following us. I said, yeah, I know. I want to give you something. And I gave her a copy of my book. And she goes, oh, there's a hummingbird. I said, yes, it's a sign. It's a sign. So that was a sign. Then, so we closed on the house, and the day I got the keys, we went to the house, and the other agent had left a note and said, there's some things the owner's left in the garage, and if you don't want them, let me know and I'll clean them out. Well, while I had been packing, I was wishing that I had a couple of those plastic bins, and I asked some friends, anybody have an extra plastic bin? Those totes you can put things in, but I didn't have time to go get one. So, but we walked in the garage, and the entire wall of shelves was filled with plastic bins, every size, shape imaginable. I didn't count them, but there's a lot. And I gasped because I saw the answered prayer, that what I had said, it was there. And I've tried to remain nonchalant. Now, to an organizing Virgo, this is like having the Container Store in my garage. Like, this is heaven. This is nirvana. And so I tried to be cool, and the agent was going on about, well, we need to clear this out. What do you want to do with those bins? I went, oh, It's okay, you can leave them. Like trying to be calm about it, like, oh my gosh, unlimited bins. So I tell you this story because the whole time during that transaction and during my intention was standing in that place of alignment and prayer. That is the most powerful place that we have. For us to do our own work, I don't know what to do about the issues in the world. I really don't. But what I know is the power is right here. And as we do this work individually and collectively, we are making a difference. I want to share, let's see if I can find it. Carolyn Mace says in her book, Defy Gravity, she says, we are beyond the reason point. We are at the beyond reason point of our evolution, meaning the type and scope of problems we are confronting now that cannot be resolved by reasonable people sitting around a table, right? The problems facing us. There's not a group of people that we can wait for that are going to come and have a solution to the problems. She says, the problems facing humanity have become unreasonable. We must shift to another realm of perception, a realm that is beyond conventional reason in order to move through the problems facing us. We must learn to think as the mystics did. We must learn to defy gravity. It's time to learn the truths that govern our interior soul. We have to do the interior work to see an exterior change in humanity. We have to do this work, and every time we do the work of letting go of resentment, letting go of anger, of frustration, we lift ourselves to a higher level. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, the author of Women Who Run with the Wolves, wrote, this was part of an essay she wrote. She wrote, one of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. The light of the soul throws sparks, can send up flares, build signal fires, cause proper matters to catch fire. To display the lantern of the soul in shadowy times like these, to be fierce and to show mercy towards others, both are acts of immense bravery and the greatest necessity. That this is a necessity for us. Our spiritual work is not a pastime anymore. When I started, it was like a pastime. I did my spiritual work in my spare time. It's who we are, and who we are the beings of light, and that each of us, as each of us moves to that place of love, moves to that place of surrender, moves to that place of peace, we are that light. We are that light in the world. So let's take all this into prayer. And so what a joy it is to be together in this time, in this beautiful community. What a blessing it is. I know that we have been called to a powerful time like this, a powerful time to stand in this light of love, to know that love is the power, the presence, the divine essence of who we are. And that as each of us moves each day, chooses to be in love, chooses to be in acceptance, in awareness, in enthusiasm, and in joy. That as each of us moves in and through that we bring a light to the world. And that this light shines. This light is an emanation, an illumination, an inspiration to the world. And so I know for each of us that we have been touched profoundly here today, that our light shines, our light blesses, our light is that creative expression of God itself. And so I know that as we go out into the world, we bring this light, we allow this light to shine, and we bring this light of freedom, of peace, of love, of graciousness and gratitude everywhere we go. So I know right now that the world is being lifted up as each of us are lifted up this day, that all of humanity is being lifted up by our agreement to do the same. And so I just give grateful thanks for this opportunity, for this blessing, and for the divine expression that life is. And I give grateful thanks for all of this. And together we say, and so it is. Blessings. Thank you.
More than enough. More than enough. More than enough. More than enough. More, much more. More than enough. More than enough.
I am
More than enough.
I have
More
than enough.
There is more than enough. More, much more. More than enough. 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 More, much more. More than enough. More, much more. More than enough. Oh, yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, and I'm filled with bright light. Oh, yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, and I'm filled with white light. I was sad and lonely, it was no way to be. Filled with pain, but I did break free. Yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear, bright, and I'm filled with white light. Yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear, bright, and I'm filled with white light. I'm planting joy in my beautiful soul. I'm filled with gladness, peaceful and whole. Oh, yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, and I'm filled with white light. Yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, and I'm filled with white light. No more doubt, I'm filled with faith. I know I'm filled with Spirit's grace. Oh, yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, and I'm filled with white light. Yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, and I'm filled with white light. I'm so grateful that I broke the chain of doubt and anger. I have life to gain. Yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, and I'm filled with white light. Yes, I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, where it's clear and bright, moving on, yeah, where it's clear and bright and I'm filled with white light. Oh, yes, I'm moving on, yeah, where it's clear and bright and I'm filled with white light.
Thank you again, Paulette. Thank you, everyone, for being here. If you're going through some trouble right now, or if you would like to improve some area of your life, please consider prayer with one of the licensed practitioners here. They will be available here in front of the platform at the end of the service for a 1-minute miracle. We also have prayer request cards at the Ministry of Prayer table. If you fill out one, it's our honor for the entire team to pray for you throughout the week. For our online audience, you can submit a prayer request on the website at cslportland.org, and it will be automatically distributed to all ministers and practitioners. So for now, I invite you to stand with me for our benediction. And I think this is something we say together, right? Something wonderful is flowing through me right now.
Something wonderful is flowing through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
And life is in my affairs.
And life is in my affairs.
I think it.
I think it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
And so just know with me that you are never alone, that the divine presence of love is within you always. And any time during the day or night when forgetfulness comes upon you, simply go within and remember that always, always you are loved. In gratitude for this remembrance, we let it be, and so it is.
So it is.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Rest in God and say amen.
If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We have inspirational services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our online listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.